Today, I'm going to show you the basic fundamentals of working in Manifold3D. When you first start the app, you will see this small panel. On the left is Known Issues and on the right is Continue. If you click Known Issues, it will display a list of the known issues for this version. Let's go back. Now, we'll click Continue to enter the application. This is the basic screen of the application. Let's begin with the general controls. You can hold Alt and drag to rotate the camera. While still holding Alt, you can press the middle mouse button to pan. You can also use the mouse scroll wheel to zoom in and out with Smart Scroll. Let's create a primitive cube. Click this button and the cube is created. At the same time, the action panel is generated. Once you click on something else, the panel deactivates. This means you no longer have direct control over that creation action. This is the outliner and this is the transform panel. Let's delete this cube and create another one. Now, the action panel is back. In this sense, this is a destructive workflow. You can still change the scale afterwards, of course, but it is useful to start with the general shape of the mesh you want. If you don't mind adjusting it later, then it doesn't matter as much. But some people prefer to define the shape from the beginning. This is the Set to Default button. You can change the divisions like this. Let's increase this to 3 and adjust the cube to something like this. Let's say this is what we want. Now that the mesh has been created, I deselected the generated mesh and the action panel is gone. We can select an object simply by left-clicking on it. Then we can change the control mode, move, rotate, and a scale. This is standard for a modeling application. This is the Move tool. The center cube lets you move the object freely in the screen viewport. You can also select the X-axis and move along the X-axis. Now we can rotate the object freely. I'm just going to change the control view and do this. Then I'll undo it as well. This is how you manipulate an object. If you press the F, the camera focuses on the selected object. This makes camera control much easier. Now we have 3 full modes. We are currently in object mode. You can change modes by holding right-click. The radial menu allows you to select a different mode. Let's go to vertex mode. Now, the vertices are shown. You can click on a vertex to select it, or you can drag a box over it. Let's go to edge mode. You can click to select an edge, or you can box select. Double-clicking on an edge will smart select connected edges. With this selected, if I box select, it will select the inverse. You can also go to select up here and choose select inverse, which is an easy way to handle this. These are simple but useful selection tools. You can also change the control mode while in vertex, edge, or face mode. This is face mode. We can select faces by clicking, box selecting, or using smart selection by double clicking. Double clicking here selects everything. There is another feature of smart selection. If you select one face or one edge, this works in both face and edge mode, and then hold shift and double click another face or edge, it will select everything in between. This is very useful for selecting specific ranges of edges or faces. You can delete objects with the delete button. The control panel also shows a delete option, but the delete key works fine. I'm going to undo that. You can duplicate the object, for example, like this. Now we have 2 objects. You can drag one object onto another to make it a child. Now this object is the child of this object. You can rename an object here. You can also rename an object by pressing F2 and then entering a new name. I'm going to rotate the object like this and then scale it. Now you'll notice that the rotation is set and the scale is also set. If you look at the object now, the axis does not align with the object. That is because we are in world space. We can change this to local space so the axis aligns with the object. You can toggle between world space and local space by pressing Tab. Now we have the object like this, but we may not want to export or keep an object with this kind of rotation and scale. What we can do is freeze transform. Now this becomes the default transform state of the object after freezing the transform. Changing between world and local space no longer affects the axis in the same way, because as far as the mesh is concerned, this is now its local position. Let's undo that. We'll reset the rotation to its default. You can freeze the entire transform, or you can go to mesh and freeze only certain elements. For example, we can freeze only the scale. Now, if we rotate the object, the local space of the object is still respected. I think that's enough for today.